Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
The #1 long-form writer that helps SEOs outrank competition at the click of a button using real-time research and NLP. Start ranking content today with contentatscale.ai.
Hi all, thank you for still being here. I can imagine the bar and the beer are very tempting to go somewhere else. I will be the last speaker of the day and I hope it will be worth it to be here and leave the beer aside. I'm Dutch, so if I might sound rude or blunt or straightforward, we are known for it. I hope you can forgive me. I am indeed straightforward, but a proud Dutchie. And indeed the SEO who doesn't do SEO anymore. And it all has to do with the fact that I think that doing things for SEO is just not enough to make it in SEO anymore. Why? Because everyone does the things we need to do for SEO. So you're just one of the many players out there doing the same as all the others. My voice breaks every now and then. Sorry for that, I will grab some water later on. I hope everyone in this room knows what Google thinks and does, right? We already heard something coming on. The Google Helpful Content update from last year. Google saying that tons of SEOs, raise your hand if you're producing terrible content not worth indexing. That's honest. The EEAT that applies to every query, or that we write keyword content for keywords, which will lead to mediocre content. I cannot agree more with Google that this is what we are doing. But what happens when Google does anything that we SEOs, we think, oh, maybe I could buy some better links that are able to survive a link spam algorithm. Or maybe I should now create helpful content around keywords. Okay, how am I going to do this? Let me think. Or I would say, oh, in the search quality raters guidelines, Google says you should have author pages and author bios. So I will make them and then I am an EEAT, right? Well, I don't think it works that way. But this is what we do. We SEOs reverse engineering all the things. So whatever happens, we go and dissect it and see if we can make it work. And let me question, who in this room has a happy marriage? Oh, luckily I see a lot of hands, thank you very much. Well, if I ask you what makes a happy marriage, you would say, well, being kind or communicative or having attention, paying time to each other. And that's true, that's are all signs of a happy marriage. But if you have that, does it automatically make you having a happy marriage? Who thinks that? No one? Oh, great. I like that. Because that's exactly how SEO also works. This is what we think is fine, and we have been thinking this for ages, decades. I'm for 13 years in SEO, and believe me, I've baked these kind of rainbow cakes with content and websites. And we think this is fine, and then we put the icing on the cake and the cherry on top, and we say, well, we have done it great because we have a title and a meta and an H1, and we tested it, and it's like everything fabulous. But, well, reality is that this is what Google wants from us. So we can never make a website that Google wants when we are happy with this product. But the thing is, long time Google rewarded this. I have done it myself in 2016. I have written about washing your hair when it's getting greasy. I had no experience. I didn't study anything with hair. I just Googled it. I was like the previous ChatGPT. I Googled it and made something up, rehashed it and put it online, and it ranked very well. We sold a lot of shampoos in that time. So we are a little bit spoiled that this is how it works. But come on, we are in 2023 now. EEAT is not just about showing who the author is. It's not just about showing bios for your author. It's also not just about using creditable copywriters. And it's also not just about showing your address or having a helpful About Us page, because this is what Google is saying in their search quality raters guidelines, that you should have this. Well, I think they are the icing on the cake, but they do not make you an EEAT. And let me ask you one question. You all know this guy, right? Okay. Imagine I have a cooking website, because I am a cooking addict. I'm not. But imagine I have it, and I have a page, and I make recipes. This is me in the kitchen. Okay, who thinks Gordon Ramsay is the EEAT? Please stand up. If you're on my side, please remain seated. Oh, come on, guys. Oh, I'm so disappointed right now. I have an About Me page too, and I also have a bio, so why am I not the EEAT? Well, of course I am not, and this is what I think we SEOs need to know. Just by making it look like that we are an EEAT, we are not actually it. And well, when we're talking about why it matters, imagine we are going to write an apple pie recipe, because I did my keyword research, and I know there is a lot of search volume. So I'm going to write the next item on this one. But Google already has 319 million apple pie recipes in their index. So give me one good reason, or maybe give Google one good reason, why they should index it when I write it. I don't think there is a good reason, because my apple pie is also the same as what ChatGPT does. But what if our friend Gordon Ramsay creates a new apple pie recipe? Do you think Google will index it then? Yeah, I think so too. And I think it will even rank very well, because that is what makes the EEAT and how important it is. And we are at an era where Google is not indexing anymore just because we have created it. And I see a lot of people saying, yeah, I wrote unique content. Yeah, with 320 million variants about it online. So what is unique? That it's a unique sentence? It's not unique. There is too much of it already. And all Google wants to know is who the true authorities are. Who are the go-to persons in the market, in the industry? And I think you can do this with working at two important parts. And the first part is content. Are you adding value to the web? If I am producing a new apple pie recipe, 319 million and one, I am not adding any value to the web. If Gordon Ramsay does it, he is, because it is his special recipe. But also your reputation. Do people think you are the go-to person? And the funny thing is that I think this is a vicious circle. You need to have good content first in order to build your reputation and become an EEAT. I mean, that's also what Gordon did. I know him from the online television show where he goes into restaurants, his travel programs where he went out with his friends in the camper and stuff like that. So it starts with great content that helps you build up a reputation. And when you think, well, that reputation, I will do some link building because that will help me make me an EEAT. I will buy some links from authoritative websites. Well, I wish you good luck, because I think it doesn't work that way. Because in 90% of the cases, the links that you can buy will not make you an EEAT. Why? Because you can buy the links. And I don't want a link from 123mobilehome.com, because it's worthless to me. So I hope you all know these three people. Well, at least you know me. I hope you also know John Mueller. He's on the other stage right now. And Lily Ray, a very big entity in the world of SEO. The most valuable link I would like to have as an SEO is one from John Mueller's website, maybe google.com or so, or one from Lily Ray's website. But of course, I cannot buy those links. I cannot send them an email and say, well, if I pay you, can you send a link to me? But how do I make sure, or make it clear to Google, that I am like in their same industry, in their area? And I think the link to that one is brightonSEO, where I'm here today. Because John Mueller is speaking on brightonSEO, Lily Ray was speaking in April, and now I'm here. So now I am also in the entity of the other authorities. I'm in the network, in the footprint. So when Google is going to do some research on me, it can define that I am somehow connected to these people. And these links are priceless. You cannot buy these links. So I think if you're wondering how to become an EEAT, you should think about how am I going to become the Gordon Ramsay of my industry? And I can tell you that's not an easy question to answer. It's not something you can reach overnight by making an About Us page or that kind of stuff. So you cannot be there by doing things for SEO. I don't think that Gordon Ramsay ever did something for SEO, and yet he is still ranking. So when you're doing things for SEO, I don't know if it's me or that you also experience this, but the image of SEO is still that we are talking about keywords. It's keyword research, we're adding keywords, we're writing content about keywords we have found, and that's where we have to deal with. But it's also expectations. I had a talk the other day with a CEO, and he wanted 2,000 articles in a month written about e-commerce related content where you can buy stuff. And he wanted to have it in like 1 month and get it published and get a revenue out of it the next month or 2 months later. Yeah, that's not how it works, but that's what is expected of us. SEO is seen as a performance channel, which I don't think it is anymore. And of course it has to do with the money. Because it's a performance channel, everyone wants to make sure if I put money into this, invest in it, I want to make sure what the ROI is and how much I'm getting in return. And I think it's just way too big. What Google is asking from us to create helpful content and to become an EEAT is way too big to be on the SEO's plate. Because this is what we need to bake, and we as SEOs cannot bake it. We need way more help from within the company. And that's what I always say. It should be in the company's DNA to create the best content out there. And with that content, you can start building your EEAT. And this is the way we did SEO traditionally. So we started with keyword research, we came up with angles, started writing, optimizing content, and then we are going to sit and wait until traffic comes in and rankings. Well, I think that if you're still working this way, attracting traffic was never harder than it was nowadays. I don't know if you have the same experience. Yesterday I saw someone on LinkedIn and he said, yeah, I went from 0 to 6,000 clicks in 4 months. But apparently he was in a coffee machine fixing industry where people start searching for problems with their coffee machine. That's easy. But if you are selling like running shoes or tennis rackets, it doesn't work that way anymore. Instead, this is my proposed approach on how I think you should do it. It starts not with keyword research. Why? Because everyone has done their keyword research. Everyone has found the same keywords in the same tools and is writing the same information or is asking ChatGPT to write it, which means it's all worthless. It's all the same, and I cannot say it, make it a beep. It's all the same. So start with knowing your customer and what I call the cube of CG MIMS. I can guarantee when you Google it, I'm ranking #1. It's for question, problems, alternatives, the fears, the frustrations, concerns, goals, the myths, the interest, and the misunderstandings of your target group. Because what do we know if someone is looking for running shoes? Or what do we know if someone is searching for HR software? But if we are making it more detailed, by knowing their cube of CG MIMS, we exactly know what to write about. Keyword volume or no keyword volume. Just write it, just create it. But there is one important thing when we're talking about EEAT. The CEO that wanted 2,000 items in just a few months, he wanted to just ask a copywriter, well, create something for me. But how? The copywriter doesn't know anything about this industry, about these products. It's going to be, beep, content. So you should go in your company finding someone who has the knowledge, who has the expertise, who has the experience that can help you answering all the questions that your target group has. And that should be the foundation for great content. Great content for all the channels, not only for your website. Because I think nowadays, when you're publishing content on your website, waiting for traffic, it's more or less the same than have it rotten over there. And when you have really great content, you will not let it happen. Then it's too beautiful for that purpose. So when you're creating content for all the channels, and I will show it later on in my next slide, after that, you go and do your keyword tools check. I mean, I think we are a little bit addicted to it, so go ahead, check it at this point, and see if you should use it summer holiday or summer vacation or that kind of things, but do it at a later stage. Then optimize and then track the impact. And with the content creating for all the channels, I think that this is more or less how it should look like. It all starts with the knowledge from your expert. And the best way to get it out of there is by organizing an interview, asking questions, record it, and maybe, when it's interesting for your company, turn it into a podcast or whatsoever. Then you have your very first piece of very valuable content. From that information, you create your content for your website, and you publish it. Maybe you can make some magazines, a book, make content for Insta, especially when you're in e-commerce, very interesting. TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, the whole shebang, you can make it from that one interview with your expert. I know, in my experience, one interview is 2 or 3 blog articles, and most of the time 5 or 6 LinkedIn posts or social posts. And when you do this, it will make you sure, or it will lead to visibility in Google, because you're having unique content, you are adding value to the web, you are writing something else. And this whole journey will make you an EEAT. It will become signals to Google that you are an EEAT. And I would like to share a case from how I just did it. And I could also have shared a client's case, but on my own case, I can be way open. I can tell everything because I don't have any secrets. So this is how I have done it for myself. I started blogging 2 years ago when I started my freelance company, and I was waiting for traffic, and no one came, not even my mother came to read it. So I was very disappointed, and at that point I was like, okay, maybe I should just buy a microphone, put in or install GarageBand, and start talking about how I'm thinking about SEO, and record it. These are the numbers right now, you can see over there, and I'm 72 episodes further. And of course, I am all embedding this in my website. So I have a page about SEO podcasts, and I'm like ranking number 4. But there is something really nice that other websites about podcasts SEO are also talking about my podcast. So this is a sign to Google. The others are talking about her podcast. Maybe she has experience or expertise on this part. And this is how it looks on my website. Nowadays, I also make videos. I overcame my fear. So I'm filming myself, I have a podcast, and I have a transcript into a blog with, I think, the best content you can create out there. And this is where the other websites are starting talking about me or inviting me for their podcast. So I know this is just a case of one freelancer, but I think there is something for you to see a pattern in how can I do this for my own company. I also did it for a book I wrote last year. This completely the same way where people started talking about my book of doing SEO another way. So I didn't do anything for SEO, but the result is visible in SEO because I enclosed it in my website, people are talking about me, I'm gathering links, and yes, it has taken me 2 years, but there is something happening, and I think this is the way you should also do it. And I can share a little bit of proof from one of my clients in the Your Money, Your Life. This is where they came to me. They had a very big decline of traffic, and they were doing SEO. keyword research, adding keywords to their website, buying links, 123mobilehome.com, they're in the health. So what do you need that link for? And I cannot really give disclosure on what we did, but we did some similar kind of path that I did for myself. And what is happening right now is that we are beating a governmental health website every now and then. We are like competing on position 1 and 2 with them. So we are definitely the authority, and traffic has increased like 40% compared to last year by not doing SEO. So your task, when you're drinking beer in a few minutes from now, how can I brand my company with helpful content that will make other experts talk about me? And when you have done this right, it will lead to helpful content, so you can tick the box. You have useful content for all the channels, which makes it easier to build a business case, because building a business case for SEO only will become harder and harder and harder, especially with declining traffic, the chatbot coming up. You have a happy visitor that feels understood. Probably you're building brand preference because people want to work with you or want to buy from you. And the chances are big that you also see increased branded traffic and direct traffic because people know where to find you. And of course, it will lead to true, genuine EEAT. And then keep in mind something that's happening right now in Google, the short videos that are ranking. When you are creating like a podcast or a video and turn it into shorts, you can just rank #1 or on page 1 for a very competitive keyword. The other day, Lily Ray tweeted about it. Rank #1, make shorts. So that's a free tip from at the end of the day. But also when I'm looking at toaster, a very e-commerce driven keyword, I am seeing perspectives from other channels. So this kind of content is going to rank in Google. And of course you want to be mentioned by the chatbot. And how do you get mentioned? By being an EEAT, so that he knows what he's saying actually makes sense. And why you need to do this, second reason, because everyone is going to create the most fantastic content with ChatGPT. So everyone will create content like in, I don't know how you say it in English, but just in a, you know what I mean, I think. Everyone is going to do this. So don't do the same as anyone else, because there can only rank a few. And SEO used to be about the first 10 spots. With the chatbot, it's about 3 to 5 spots that will be available for mentioning. So start doing something else. And what I said, the business case. Creating content for your website, putting it online, and waiting until the traffic comes in will not make the business case, and not at all in the future when Google is not sending that much traffic. But when you're joining forces with all the other channels that can reuse it, also email or newsletters, you have a valid business case to still create content. Because I hope we were all not creating content for SEO, but for another reason. And then for you to think about the last slide, what do you want to do in the future? Do you want to be the SEO that puts icing on these kind of messed up rainbow cakes? Or are you going to be part of the team that's going to build these kind of cakes? And that's my assignment for you while drinking the beer. Thank you.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.